How's it going, everybody? Getting situated here today. I wanted to talk about hybrid picking. Um, you know, it's I recently got a chance to perform with Matteo Mancuso, and he's got this like wicked two-finger approach that's so good. And I wanted to start assimilating more of that into my playing, and I think I could share some of that stuff with you guys today. Now, first of all, hybrid playing is a big part of everything that I do. I mean, like tunes like Junktown, where it's tunes like that, or even Forgotten Secrets at the top of that's got a lot of hybrid. It's something that it's been a part of my playing, you know, going back to chicken picking and stuff. But it's a neat way to get around a lot of wide intervallic stuff, right? Like that lick specifically in Junktown, those kind of licks are really nice to incorporate this stuff into. Now, for some of you guys that are advanced hybrid players, you know, this might be a little below your pay grade, but I'm going to do some stuff for our beginners, talking about how we can incorporate this in. So for the first things, when we use hybrid is already got a great question. Are you using the tips of your finger? Yeah, I'm actually just using just a little piece of the tip. I'm not using any fingernails. Yeah, just the tip. I'm not using any fingernail with it, so to speak. Do you need more volume on the microphone? That's okay. I can pull that up. Let me go over here and see if I can just gain it up a little bit. Is that better for you guys? That kind of hitting it a little sweeter for you. Gain that up just a touch. Is that too much? Too much, Joe? Is that better? Okay, much better. All right. Yeah, okay, good. Good. Gain is good. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's dig into this thing. There's some really great stuff. I just posted some licks on Instagram that I've been working on that Matteo got some really cool stuff. Now it's so open-ended on how far this can run. There's some really advanced stuff we can get into. I don't really want to kick that around too much today. I feel like that can be like drinking from a fire hose, you know, if you just get it so advanced right out of the gate. So this is going to be for a lot of you guys that maybe are experienced players, you know, and you used to playing a lot of guitar, but just not used to using hybrid playing a lot, right? Yeah, we'll get in some fretboard approach stuff here in just a second with how this ties together. It's really good. All right. Okay. So let's just take, I don't know, like I've been playing key of A minor. Like a lot of times I'll just play in A minor when I'm trying to assimilate things or get new ideas under my fingers and then go to throwing them around in other keys. I think intervallically anyway, so it really doesn't matter. It's all just the same thing. Just at a different starting point or stopping point, right? So with hybrid playing, the first thing that you need to get used to is actually using your fingers. So if you're used to playing, you know, hot licks with some, you know, alternate picking, that kind of thing feels good to you. You know, we got to get used to using the finger with that. So I'm just vanilla playing right now. I'm just vanilla, like A minor pentatonic vanilla. And I'm just using the middle finger as an extension. Let me turn some gain on the guitar down. Turn the gain down just a little bit on the amplifier here. Okay. Just using the this just vanilla A minor stuff. It could even just be pentatonic box. But I'm going to start really thinking about that middle finger. Now that's just making sure that every time I hit the first finger, I'm using the middle finger to pop it. Okay, so that's like level 0.1. Just getting used to what it feels like. If you have different things that you're used to playing, you hybrid that. See what's happening. So now if I'm going to play in D, typically, if you have so it doesn't look like I'm using my finger as much as I am. So let's take just some simple arpeggios. Like right there, I was just playing a bunch of fourths. This is like, okay, now let's start creeping up the difficulty a little bit. What we're going to do is step into the world of arpeggiating things with one note per string. This is really hard on guitar because this is like the Steve Morse thing that he excelled at, right? That thing, the too many notes. Do it with using hybrid makes it easier. Right? See kind of how difficult that could be. Hybrid makes the ceiling a little bit lower. So let's take some arpeggios and let's just look at like one note per string type stuff. I think Matteo in that Rick Beato interview, he was playing a lot of nines and fourths. A nine is just adding the next octave up the two. So if we're in C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? So when we have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, the next one is a 2 or a 9 because it's the octave up. It's that sound, right? So now let's play that one note per string. Let's play, so we're going to have root 5, 9. Root 5, 9. And then 3. Now in the right hand, this will be really hard because it's alternate picking one note per string. So there's a speed limit on that, right? There's like a hard limit on how fast you can get that going, just due to the picking hand. It's really tough to get it up to tempo. Tempo being like if you want to play bonkers tempo, right? So let's take what we could do is have, we're going to go down, up, down. So 1, 5, 9. Now this third right here, we're going to play that third with my middle finger. So So what ends up happening is that I have a 3-string, which is a lot easier to deal with in cross picking, and a break. So it's like if it's quarter note, or sorry, if it's 16th notes, it's 1 E and then the middle finger will be on the 1 E and Or if it's triple, it's triple, and then you have the break for the middle finger. And then triplets back down. Triple, 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 triple. So now you can see that this has a lot more opportunity to go faster. Just kick on the old metronome. Not even really that bad. Yeah, the facility of the right hand makes a lot more sense, Let's try a little chord progression. So now let's take the arpeggiation and start working through just vanilla arpeggios, okay? Just anything. So you have that's just your major arpeggio that you play like this. We're gonna do down, hammer, middle. So that's 1, 3, 5, and the 5 is middle. Then great way to get used to it. So then you can start expanding it into other permutations of what that might look like a minor arpeggio. Now this is a kind of lick that I would use a lot. Right there it is. One more time. It's all just kind of like getting used to moving with it versus coming up with a bunch of pre-made stuff that I'm not really trying to do. I'm trying to get the hybrid thing to be a part of my vocabulary as simply as if I was alternate picking things. Like those kind of jumps right there. Those are really nice for hybrid too, right? So anytime I have one note per string, that's where I could really get a lot of mileage out of it. So let's take small groupings and small permutations. We've done major, right? We do a seventh. So it'd be like hammer, root, third, 5, hammer, root, 3, 5. And that's out of that shape that looks like a D, right? Or a C. Like a whole bunch of it all together, right? If you were to lay it all out, maybe we could just go through those one at a time too, so you can just kind of see how I'm seeing that. Let's take C7. That'd be like C sus4, right? Really nice sound too. Let's just take C7 right now. Let's go 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. See, I'm kind of using that as a sneaky operation. Sorry. Be another permutation right there of it. So that's starting on 7. 7, root, 3, 5, 7. So basically it's just up to you to sit and go through the homework of it all. By that I mean like use this structure to approach every key, different permutations of what those keys are. Got some questions here coming in. Donald says you're amazing guitar player. Oh, thanks, Donald. I appreciate you. Let's see. Alexa is saying, when it comes to the diatonic changes, for example, in the key of A minor, when you play over F, do you think about F Lydian if you use intervallic stuff? Or do you have a different set approach? Oh, man, that's a great question. So, Alexa, to me, it all depends on what is happening beneath me. What is the context? Nothing's as simple as if you're playing over A minor. Okay, let me elaborate on that. If I'm playing over A minor and it's I'm gonna have a different approach. You know, if it's something that's like a I'd have so you see on that version of the A minor that's a little more like the Allman Brothers. I'm playing with a major 6. You see, does that make sense? So it's like I see the root, the 2, the minor third, the 4, the 5, major 6. So that could be down here too. And if I'm using hybrid playing, maybe I want... See how this is all a different tonality. No. That can all have a different tonality. That could be like that could also be a minor 6. So if you just have a root that's playing underneath you with, maybe he's playing like the 7, the root, the minor third, and the 4. That could also be you don't have any information other than... So that means it's an open ground. That could be that kind of thing too. You know, it could be that thing. You know, because you don't have any context. If the chords are moving around, like you've got, then I have to play around those things. Like, it all has to make sense within the... it all has to make sense with what's beneath me. So from an intervallic standpoint, you know, the thing that I'm listening for is like another keyboard player or a melody line or any of that information to tell me what some of those other chord tones are. Like, obviously, if it's minor, I'm going to hear this. I'm going to hear this and this. We don't know what else it's got in it. You know, is it... That's flat 7. That's clearly... You know, or is it more... You know, that's kind of a different sound, too. It just depends on whatever it is. A song like Shoot the Sun Down. Yeah, that's a major. It's a B major. But it's got a minor 6. So I can't play a B minor. It's got to be major. That's really what makes it sound like the song. Right there it is, right there. You know, and a song like Forgotten Secrets is very natural minor. So it's got root, 2, minor 3, 4, 5, minor 6, flat 7, 1. Those kind of lines is where the hybrid playing really comes in. That's like more the Eric Johnson kind of thing too. Yeah. We got David saying Lydian augment. Yeah, I mean that's a way to look at it. I find that this is just me personally, but I find that once the vocabulary and the words start flying around, I personally lose track of musicality. So once people start saying, "Oh, it's Lydian dominant," "Oh, no, it's mixed Lydian," "Oh, it's super Locrian," like that doesn't register to my brain. What registers to me is a major scale and which piece of the major scale needs to be moved over, right? And remember, this lesson today is about hybrid playing. So if you want to get the hybrid playing under your fingers and you want to understand intervals as well, you just take a minor, like what we're talking about, B minor here. And let's say, okay, well now let's add some 2s in there. Let's add some 9s. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now from here, let's just take 1, minor 3, 5, and let's play that same pattern that I taught you guys earlier. So like the down hammer, Use a middle finger for the 5. But we're going to go down, hammer, middle, down. Down, hammer, middle, down. Hammer. There's our 9. Okay, this is actually in the song Beyond the Reef. I think the passage is something to the effect of. It's in the key of D minor. That's the move, right? So let's play that together. It's a really neat sequence. Same startup. We're going from the 9. Yeah. Okay. So I'm using the hybrid. This is exactly what's happening. I'm using the hybrid as a pedal tone device, so the right hand can be fluid. Yeah, so on and so forth. So here's the sequence all together. Yeah, so I have to play it kind of up to speed. My apologies. Yeah, that's what it is. See how the return trip up falls in the middle finger versus and it's this kind of motion. That's how it feels to me. Now we're just going to move it up another octave. Now we're going to go to the key of A minor 9 or C major 7. Yeah, very much C major 7 kind of sound. This kind of wide shape right here, that's this. That's where the middle finger really becomes beneficial. That kind of thing. I guess Tom definitely does some of this stuff. This is definitely mutated a bit. It's a device to be able to play one note per string, which obviously Tom does very well. Arguably better than anybody, really, when it comes to that. And his tuning is so beneficial. Let's just take a listen to Beyond the Reef in context of the song. Sorry. One more time. I haven't played it in a long time. Move up. Again. Yeah. That's a really pretty tune. I should play that live more. It's got a really cool outro. Right here. Whatever. I'm trying to do that again. Maybe that'd be nice. One more time. I was working on some stuff. They had some tapping stuff the other day that I need to perfect. Need to get it good, but yeah, whatever. Checks the chat out here. Andy, do you plan on coming to Europe? Yeah, I should be in Europe next year, which is going to be fun. Mark Kirby says Reef's one of his favorite tunes. Thanks, Mark. I'll start playing that live, man. Knees Hurt says he has the tabs open, which is nice. Yeah. There isn't even a upcoming stream kind of notification. I don't know why that is, Dustin. I'll get into the back end of YouTube and see if something's not on. the way it should be. But yeah, let's just review here, guys. If you're trying to improve your hybrid picking, I don't think it's necessary to buy a course. I don't think it's necessary to ask someone for lessons. Of course, these things can help. I personally believe the best way to be a better hybrid player is just start using it in your lines, even if it's something simple. God, if you're just playing, is it? Just those kind of things. Just incorporating them into your vocabulary and getting used to what it feels like to use the finger, right? Like that. Those kind of lines right there. Where's up on that way? Just making it part of your vocabulary. In any kind of harmonic context. If you're playing it like right? Just noodling away, but trying to play from the subconscious and just show you how that kind of works, right? Igor says, Andy, do you have days when whatever you play sounds not so good, the next day is all perfect? What day is today for you? Man, I don't know. I'm not really in playing mode right now because my brain is in such a space of demonstration. So I play better when I'm not in demonstration mode. I think that goes without saying. A lot of the live clips, like when I'm on stage or in the studio or something, they're like a million times better than me teaching. My teaching brain is not as fluid because I'm constantly stopping the flow of the idea or not even getting into the flow of the idea when I'm trying to demonstrate something. I think that's a difference, right? Like I don't practice like I'm demonstrating. I don't know if that's a good answer. That's definitely how I feel. Knees Hurt says, Ben Eller has a great video on this one as well. I can't find it because the title makes it hard to search. It's a great lesson. On what? On hybrid picking? Yeah, Ben's not really a hybrid player either. Like his instructional stuff's really great, but like as a guy that stands on stage with him, he doesn't really hybrid play very, very much at all. Ben is an economy player. Like if Ben is playing and he's not teaching, he plays a lot of economy stuff. And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Let me go ahead and add that to the conversation. It's not like economy is good or alternate's bad or hybrid is the way. It's like none of that stuff really matters. What matters is that you're bringing in some vehicle to allow the line in your head to happen, to allow the music in your head to happen. So however that needs to happen is great, is the answer. The reason I named this live stream Level Up Your Playing is just I feel like a lot of guys are afraid of hybrid playing, and then it just comes from just not doing it, right? Yeah. It's a simple lesson to get started on the hybrid picking. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And like, to me, it's like, here's the mentality I go to is like, just start doing it. Like, just start messing with it. So, I mean, so much of my playing is a result of exploration. If that kind of helps in any way. So much of that is so much of what I do is a result of exploring and finding something and mutating it to fit my own playing. Yeah, there's Max. Max is a fantastic player with so much facility. You guys should check out his Instagram. He's in Nashville now. Max Rossetti down there, who just commented economy and hybrid. Everybody follow his channel. Max has a fantastic sensibility of some of the Frank Gambale things. And yeah, it's really great. Really, really great. That stuff never sat natural with me. That's something I always have to work on. The stuff that I've been really into is working on the Matteo Mancuso, Andre Neri. These guys are finger style, and when they play, it just has a different way of laying things out. You know, it's like let's see. Yeah, let's do one like that. One more time. Sorry. So let's take that one right there, that kind of thing. This is where that thing comes in, the hybrid playing comes in, because now the top note's going to be the 9. It'll look like a major 7, right? That's where that's really important. And then just moving that around to different permutations. This would be nice. One more time. Let's look at it. There we go. That was a nice one. Yeah, got it. Got him. So the tonality that you hear a lot with this stuff ends up being in fourths, and often because fourths are hard to play with flat pick. You know, things that are nice with flat pick is very linear kind of lines. Stuff that I feel like I'm the strongest on. You know, those kind of things. Those kind of things, they end up being just really natural to the way the guitar is tuned and the way that it's played. So when you hear some of these other kind of permutations, like I said, you end up with a lot of fourths in the intervallic structure because that's hard to play. It's one note per string. Lana's got something that they're asking. Lana's saying, I always have to ask a simple question. Let's look at this. Lana's saying, would love to know how to connect chordal tissue. Okay. Okay. I see that this is coming up in the chat. Let me just change presets real quick. Get something a little less stupid. Something a little less over the top. Cool. This will do it. All right. So when I'm thinking about chordal tissue, it's just a fancy way of saying chords and chord tones. Like, there's no such thing really as any of this verbiage. Okay? To me, I don't care if you call this shit tire, pedal, fire hydrant. It doesn't matter what anything is called, ever. It matters if you can hear it and you can play it and it's available to you from a musical language standpoint. That's my thought. So with that said, when I'm seeing the words chordal tissue, that just means how do you connect chords? Now I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Play the melody and look at the melody over the bass line, right? That's just my girl. And I'm looking at C, bass line. Now let's do the melody. Trying to do it all at the same time. Yeah, let's try it again. Here we go from the top. So when I'm thinking of chordal tissue, I'm thinking there's your melody with way too much delay. So let's play that with less delay. So what's the chords? Notice I'm putting that third in the bottom sometimes. Sounds really R&B to me. So now when I want to see the chordal tissue of what's happening, I'm going to play the melody with the bass note. It's just 1 to 4, but the tissue, the thing that makes it sound neat is the melody line. That's a neat sound right there. That's your 4 chord, but if you have the melody going, you got this. Right? Yeah. Everything is about the melody line. Chordal tissue is just doesn't mean anything. What matters is the melody and the bass line. Right? Like, I'm trying to think of another good example. Look at the melody that's really pretty from I watched the John Williams thing on Disney Plus is really great. Oh. So what is the chordal tissue of this? To me, it's how the melody works. And we'll go back to the original key. Yeah. So this is a simple melody line. And it could just be over D minor. Right? But when you put the chord and the bass line to it, most of the time it's just the bass line. Now you get this. See, it's like putting all this stuff together. Really, that is what music is. Can it be stripped away and talked about in modes? Yeah, for sure. Can it be stripped away and talked about in varying degrees of different vernacular? Yeah, absolutely. But to me, all that matters is I'm just seeing that melody line work around that one minor chord. I'm calling the song in one minor. It's like D minor, G minor, D minor, A minor. I mean, an argument. I think the strongest argument is maybe it's an F and it starts on the 6 because of this. That feels like 1, right? 3, 6. Flat 7, right? This is where it gets weird. It's like 5 minor, 2 minor, 5 minor, 6 major, right? So that would be 1 minor there. That's our key change. Right? Sorry. This goes for general music. If you like the Sam Cooke tune. So if you're looking for the chord tissue, learn the melody of the song, learn the bass line of the song, and let the chords blend together. Great time to hybrid. See? I mean, you can start hearing all the chord changes right there. You know? And that's where it really gets beautiful, and you really start like focusing on playing stuff that sounds nice. You're not focusing on what's this called. Who cares? Who cares what it's called? I don't care about the gatekeeping of the industry. And I don't care about the ego side of the industry, where elite level players can sometimes throw around knowledge as if knowledge makes music. Knowledge does not make music. Stevie Ray Vaughan didn't have the vocabulary of what modes were. He also couldn't play over giant steps or countdown or any of that stuff. And it just didn't matter. Like, it just plain out did not matter. All of the fusion licks don't matter. Once Stevie Ray played, it's all irrelevant. That's because he played music. Music was at the forefront. Tone, time feel, statement, weight to the note, intent, rhythm, harmonic decision. Those things matter. And they can all be deciphered by just using your ear and listening to yourself. There's not the need to put everything in Webster's dictionary. Now, I don't want this to sound like I'm saying that knowledge is, I'm not going to learn theory because it's going to hurt my playing. I think that's equally as stupid. I think the more you know, the better a musician you potentially can be, as long as the guiding focus is, does it sound good? Does it sound good? Okay, really, it's all that matters. Look, what does the songs sound like? What do you sound like when you play? Not what do you sound like when you teach. Not what do you sound like when you practice. What do you sound like when you play? When it's time to play. That's it. That's the answer to me. Yeah. So, yeah. I think that's a great launching pad to send you guys off into the week. Get you some picking going on. Get you some practice time. Go watch that John Williams documentary. Spectacular. I'm going to work some more on some of these Matteo Mancuso lines. I think they're great. I think that kid's got the brightest future ahead of him. He's just such a special player. Sweet kid too, man. It's really great to hang out with him over in Europe. With that said, everyone be blessed. I'm going to be putting some time this week into the Line 6 Helix to get these patches done. Special request there for some folks. And those will be available on my Patreon. Some of this stuff that I've been talking about today is going to be on my Patreon. I'm going to do an in-depth lesson on some of those hybrid lines. And yeah, if you want to keep the channel rolling, think about joining the Patreon. We got a great community. We do a weekly live masterclass. I'm looking at you, Lana. If you want to improve your chord knowledge, join in on that Patreon and join those weekly live masterclasses. We talk about that stuff a lot. Some of you guys are Patreon members. You can vouch for how fun those weekly masterclasses are. It's really good. It's a great hang, great musicians, and we hit all kinds of stuff. That's going to be patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. Idiot Blaster here says, that makes a lot of sense. I saw Marshall Harrison hating on Andy Timmons, saying he's heard Andy Timmons not play something milk toast. I'd rather listen to Andy Timmons all day than him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know Marshall. I know Marshall's videos and his playing, and I'll say this: Marshall has some of the highest facility I've ever heard out of any musician. Also, I can't tell you one thing about Marshall's creative statement. I've listened to hundreds of his videos, and he's great at like a lot of technique, but I haven't heard a song from him, and I'd love to be proven wrong. Marshall, if you've got an album or a collection or a body of work, I'd love to hear your statement. With that said, if you put on Andy Timmons' Cry for You or Electric Gypsy or Groove or Die or these songs that are statements, I think it goes without saying that the guy's musical sensibility and his statement it's all right there. AT is one of the most musical individuals I've ever heard in my life. And AT is a prime example of keeping musicality at the forefront of everything. Like, it's, it doesn't matter how much facility one has if the songs are no good. If you can't write a good song, then all you are is you're all dressed up and nowhere to go. So you got to have songs. And that's one thing I always bring to the table with guys that hate other players on the internet. I'm like, well, what have you done? The moment somebody says something negative in a comment section, I'm going to go, well, what have you done? Where are your albums? Where's your statement? Because until then, you're just an armchair quarterback. It's really easy to look out at the NFL field with the pros and be like, oh, you should have done this. I could have done that, when you're laying there with Cheetos falling down your chest and you're lazy boy. It's like you're not playing. You're just an armchair quarterback. So that's one thing I always try to keep in mind. I have to give credit to both AT and Marshall. Marshall has some of the best facility I've ever heard. I want to hear songs. I want to hear a musical statement from him. AT has the best guitar sound that one could ever want. And some of the best songs, some of the best instrumental songs ever written for guitar. I mean, they're just beautiful. What's that one that starts? I'm going to butcher it. I think that's the right chord. That one is amazing. That one's great too, right? That was it. He's got them tunes, man. So I don't know. I would never, ever, ever call Andy Timmons milk toast. Cause yeah, there you go. A lot of good things happening, With that said, guys, go off, be well, be blessed this week, and get some picking in. No negative comments. Keep the negativity. Give the good stuff. Give the good vibes. Good picking. Good practice time. Try to blend some of these ideas into your own styles and make your own statement, Cheers.